every OCG Thursday comes by, there's always something that excites me. This week it's Constellars. So guys, smash your grab that subscribe button and let's dig into OCG Thursday, shall we? Constellars, the story of, well, my other favorite anti-meta deck next to Evil Swarm. At least this deck got a new card recently in Codicus here. So what is this deck supposed to do? So you make big monsters. Hey, you know what? It's like we could make this good card in this deck. Okay, so what do we currently do? So we play triple copies of Astral Blossom and Joy Spring. Generic Detour Hand Trap, inconvenience the opponent, as it should be. We have 2 copies of Algady. On normal summon, you'll get the special summon to level 4, specifically level 4 from your hand. Alright, so I wish it was level 4 or lower, but you know, it'd be like that. Then we have triple copies of Codicus here. So if you control a Constellar monster, except for this card, so if you have 2 of it, yeah, it's kind of bad news. You can special summon this card from your hand. During the main phase, you can add a Constellar spell or trap card from your deck to your hand. And you can only use each of the previous effects of Constellar Codicus once per turn. A Constellar Exceed monster using this card gains the effect of this card battles a light or dark monster. Before damage calculation, banish that opponent's monster. Somebody say Extender. And we have triple copies of Pollux. During the turn you normal summon this. It sets the condition that you gain an additional normal summon. Alright? Then we have triple copies of Sheraton. I don't know why this card isn't a level 4 monster, but when this card is a normal summon, you can add 1 Constellar monster from your deck to your hand. At which point you can grab Codicus here and then extend out with it. So it's actually pretty good. And then we have 2 copies of Sombre, banish 1, and then get to add 1 back from your graveyard to your hand, and you get an additional normal summon. And then we have 1 copy of Honest, 2 copies of Photon Trasher, and then we play 1 copy of Constellar Twinkle. Target 1 Constellar monster you control, increase its level by 1 or 2. If this card is in your graveyard, and banish 1 Constellar monster from your graveyard to add this card from your graveyard to your hand. Cool thing with this is if you open up Sheridan and you go grab the Codicus, special summon the Codicus, search for the Twinkle, you can make the Sheridan level 4. So it basically gives us a reason to want to play this trash card so that we can basically continue on with our plays and continue on with our extensions. Now we have 2 copies of Cosmic Cyclone, 2 copies of Necro Valley. I'm seeing a lot of cool anti-meta cards here. Triple copies of Pot of Desires, 1 copy of Rhoda, triple frickin' copies of Crackdown, triple copies of Solemn Judgment, triple copies of Solemn Strike, 2 copies of There Can Only Be One, and 1 copy of Emptiness. Honestly, for all intents and purposes, for the TCG, you could probably just yeet this Emptiness out of your deck and play another TC Boo. I'm guessing that would work out. Alright, extra deck here. We have 1 copy of Lina, the Light Charmer, 1 copy of Unicorn, 1 Axis Machine, 2 copies of Baguski, oh boy, 1 copy of Exciton, 1 copy of Espinato, 2 copies of Zeus, 1 big M7, 1 copy of Paraspi. God, I haven't seen this card. So 2 level 4 Constellars. Once per turn doing damage calculation on either player's turn. When a Constellar monster you control is attacked or being attacked, detach a material from this card. This card gains 1,000 attack. Hey, it's technically a 3,400 attacker. That's pretty good. We have 1 copy of Omega, 1 copy of Castel, 1 Tsukiyomi, and 1 copy of Abyss Dweller. Then we have 1 Pankratops, 2 copies of Gamma Seal, triple copies of Maxi, 2 copies of Nibiru, 1 Harpy's Feather Duster, 2 Lightning Storm, 1 copy of Imperator, and triple copies of Mistake, wrapping up, well, quite the interesting approach. Like I said, if you were to adapt this into TCG, you just got to take out Maxis from the side deck. You can play extra Nibirus, Lancias, your additional hand traps. That would be better for certain situations. And I think you probably just replace the Emptiness for 1 TC Boo, and bada bing bada boom, you've literally adapted this deck to the TCG, which is literally what you want to do at that point. So I do like this a lot. I think that this is pretty freaking cool, all things considered. Alright, it's Constellars, alright, like, you get what you get. Alright, next up, we have, okay, I want to be clear with you guys, Danger Dark World in the OCG, this deck is a very scary creature. Keep in mind they still have very, very high numbers of danger cards. And look at this. 3 Tsuchinogo, 3 Nessie, 2, 2, 3. Meanwhile, in the TCG it's just straight 1s. We don't have Fairy Tale Snow. Like, the way that this deck functions in their side of the game. Like, it is a true pile of degeneracy, and it just turbos, big monsters on field, and then you just laugh at your opponent because they can't do anything against this. That's the current state in which degeneracy like this is gone. You wonder why the TCG limited cards like the Dangers so harshly here. It's because decks like this existing, very bad. So we have one copy of Armageddon Knight, triple copies of Beige Vanguard of the Dark World, one copy of Zephyros the Elite, triple copies of Brow. Hey, look, it's additional draw power. One copy of Cyberstein, one copy of Bigfoot, triple copies of Chupacabra, triple copies of Mothman, two copies of Nessie, two copies of Jackalope, triple copies of Tsuchinoko, one copy of the Fairy Tale Snow. Then we have one copy of Gokipo here. Alright. Interactions with this. We also have one copy of Shadal Beast. Then we have triple copies of Lure of Darkness, one Card Destruction, one Chicken Game. Man, imagine if we had Chicken Game. One Dark World Dealings, one Foolish Barrel, two copies of Pot of Avarice, one copy of The Beginning of the End, one Triple Tactics Talents, and triple copies of Upstart Goblin. Man, I wish we could turbo this many Upstart Goblins. And down here in the extra deck, we have one copy of Sarosha Rosha on World Goddess, one Zero Boros, one copy of Saruja, one Unicorn, one Phoenix, one Nightmare Griffin, one copy of IP Masquerena, one Curious Boy, one copy of Apollosi, one Access Machine, one copy of Dugaris the Timeless, one Baguski, one Hope Harbinger, one copy of Abyss Dweller, one copy of Naturi Exterio. I'm actually very curious to know, like, what kind of disgusting boards that we can end on here. We have one Bigfoot, one Thunderbird, triple copies of Nibiru, one copy of Shadal Dragon, one Construct, one Window, two Chicken Games on the side. What a mad lad. Like, just being able to have access to these on the side, that's hilarious. One Arby's Feather Duster, one Mystic Mine, one Shadal Fusion, one Terraforming, and one Anti-Spell Fragrance, wrapping up probably one of the most degenerate piles of cardboard that I've seen, because you already know Armageddon Knight's dropping this Stein, and you're going to watch your opponent get straight plow diddly out, and it's going to be a bad time for everybody involved. The last list I have for you guys here, this is some Psy-Frame love. I can't tell you the last time that I've seen Psy-Frames get the chance to do anything, and yes, that is Hoppier Squadron in here. Oh my gosh, Psy-Frames. We have one copy of Artifact Lancia, triple copies of Ash Blossom and Joy Spring, two copies of Card Vroom Vroom Generate Advantage, two copies of Cyber's Gadget, two copies of the Hoppier Squadron, two copies of Max C, one copy of Nibiru, triple copies of the Multi-Threader, alright, triple copies of Alpha, two copies of Beta, triple copies of Gamma, and we have triple copies of Psy-Frame Driver. Remember, this is the OG deck that wants to have as many of these bricks. Man, we're actually thinking about that. Like, we're bulking down on Threader and Driver. Ugh. Alright, we're playing one Foolish Burial Goods, one Mystic Mine, triple copies of Pot of Desires, that's fine. Only two copies of the Psy-Frame Circuit. What a mad lad. This is like the best card in the deck, but I guess it makes sense. One copy of Psychic Field Zone, triple copies of Crackdown, Dark Factory, and more production. You can send one monster from your hand or field to the graveyard to draw one card. You can only use this effect of Dark Factory and more production once per turn. So technically, we just get rid of the bad cards that we've cycled through our hands just to turn it into a draw engine. This is actually not a bad one-of in this deck. Then we have one Metaverse and triple copies of Psy-Frame Overload, wrapping up the main deck here. Extra deck, we have one copy of Security Dragon, one Lambda, one Link Karibo, one Link Disciple with one Link Devotee, one Phoenix, one copy of Hulk, one copy of Zeta, one Omega, one copy of Draco Berserker, one Cyberse Quantum, Coral Dragon, one Borreload Savage, one copy of Blood Rose, and one Black Rose. And then we have two copies of Alpha, one copy of Lancia, one Scythe, one Pankratops, triple copies of Inspector Border. Technically, establishing a border in this deck is actually not that bad. Yes, you'll turn off your Psy-Frame cards, sure, but like once your opponent is able to out this, if they can even out it, you just reestablish and do your thing. We have one copy of Max C, one Nibiru, one Arby's Feather Duster, two copies of Mind Control, and two copies of Artifact Sanctum. Wrapping up quite an interesting conduction week, actually. Like, this is some interesting stuff. So what do you guys think about the deck list for this week. I'm really liking that Constellar deck, actually. That's really freaking cool. So, guys, smash your living crap out, subscribe button, leave a comment down below, tell me what you guys think about these lists, and I will see your beautiful faces back here later on the day for some more cool, awesome content. Peace out, guys. Thank you, patrons, for making the ride never truly end. Without you guys' support, well, I would probably be doing Truffle Shuffle videos for a living. Guys, please check out VanCool40 for all of your Cardfight Vanguard content brought to you by MCool40. And if you are looking to pick up singles, check out mcoolgames.com for your trading card game needs. Thanks for watching, everybody.